Most men over 60 have been loving their partners wrong for decades, and no one ever had the courage to tell them the truth. If you are a man over 50, I need you to stop scrolling and listen carefully to what I am about to say. Because what I am going to share with you in the next few minutes is something I have watched older women quietly whisper to each other for years. Things they learned in long bedrooms and longer marriages. Things they wish the men in their lives had understood 30 years ago. And no, this is not going to be a lecture, and this is not going to be one of those videos that talks down to you. This is the kind of honest, grown-up conversation you should have had with a wise older sister, a trusted aunt, or a family doctor decades ago. But no one ever sat you down, no one ever told you, so today I will. And by the time we are done here, you will understand your own body, your own confidence, and your own relationships in a way that will quietly change the rest of your life. Stay with me, because what comes next, most men never hear until it is far too late to use it. Here is the myth I need to shatter before we go one step further. You have been told in 1,000 silent ways over many years that after a certain age, a man's intimate life simply fades. That morning confidence disappears forever. That bedroom reliability becomes a lottery you mostly lose. That desire itself is something you are supposed to quietly surrender along with your knees, your hairline, and your driving at night. And honestly, I understand why so many of you believe it, because every commercial, every late-night joke, every side comment from a younger man reinforces exactly that story. But I am telling you today, as a woman, and as a physician who has seen the evidence with her own eyes, that this is not biology. This is neglect dressed up as aging. The truth is that the male body at 60, at 70, even at 75, is still capable of profound vitality, if you know what it actually needs. And almost none of you were ever taught. Before I go further, let me introduce myself properly, because you deserve to know who is speaking to you. I am Dr. Mariana, a board-certified specialist in men's health and hormonal wellness, with more than 16 years of clinical experience sitting across from men exactly like you. Men who walked into my office ashamed, quiet, shoulders curled inward, convinced they were simply broken and that nothing could be done. And men who walked out of my office months later standing taller, sleeping deeper, and holding their wives' hands again like newlyweds. I have seen what is possible. I have seen the kind of transformations that medicine rarely talks about on television, because there is no pill to sell at the end of them. I built my practice, and I built this channel for one simple reason. Because the men who raise this world deserve to be spoken to with honesty and respect, not sold pills and shame. Before we go any deeper, please do me one small favor. If what I am already saying rings true in your chest, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this message reach another man who needs to hear it tonight. Maybe a man who is lying in bed next to his wife right now, wondering what went wrong. Subscribe if you have not already, because I release these conversations every single week. And down in the comments, tell me your first name and the country you are watching from. I read them personally, and I want to know exactly who is in the room with me today. This community of wise, health-forward men and women is growing every week, and your voice absolutely belongs here. Now let me give you what the older women already know. 6 truths. 6 things that would have changed everything if someone had told you at 45 instead of leaving you to figure it out alone. The first thing no one ever told you is that your confidence in the bedroom is not built in the bedroom. It is built in your blood vessels, years before the moment ever arrives. Your intimate performance depends on something called endothelial function, which is a fancy medical phrase for how smoothly blood flows through the tiny highways inside your body. Think of those vessels like the plumbing in an old, beautiful house. When the pipes are clean and flexible, water flows strong and steady. When the pipes are clogged and stiff from years of neglect, you get a trickle no matter how hard you turn the tap, and no amount of willpower will change that. Most men over 55 are not suffering from a bedroom problem. They are suffering from a plumbing problem, and their partner quietly understood this long before they did. The action here is simple, and it is free. Walk briskly for 30 minutes every day, cut back hard on ultra-processed foods, and drink more water than you think you need. Do this for 60 days, and you will feel the change in your body before you ever see it in the mirror. The second thing older women understand deep in their bones is that sleep is the most underrated intimacy drug on earth. When you sleep deeply, your body produces testosterone in quiet waves between the hours of roughly 2 and 5 in the morning. Miss that window, with late-night scrolling, with one too many glasses of wine, with untreated snoring that fractures your rest into useless pieces, and you wake up not just tired, but biochemically diminished. Your wife can tell, your mirror can tell, your mornings can tell. Imagine your hormones like a quiet garden that only gets watered at night. Skip the watering long enough and nothing blooms, no matter how good the soil is. The action here is non-negotiable. In bed by 10:30, phone left charging in another room entirely. And if you snore loudly or wake up gasping, please get tested for sleep apnea. That single test has saved more marriages than any supplement I could ever prescribe. And I am not exaggerating when I say that. The third thing, and this one is tender, so stay with me, is that older women do not want a performance. They want a presence. Somewhere along the way, men your age were taught that intimacy is a test you either pass or fail. And that belief is the single biggest killer of real connection after 55. Your partner is not grading you. She is longing for you. She wants the weight of your hand on her back, the sound of your voice in the dark, the feeling that you are here, fully, without distraction and without that invisible pressure radiating off your shoulders. Biologically, when a man slows down and becomes truly present, his parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and connect branch, finally activates, and the body responds the way it was originally designed to. Pressure shuts you down, presence opens you up. The action here is almost laughably simple. For the next week, before any intimate moment, take 3 slow breaths together with your partner. Just 3. Watch what happens. Let me pause here for just a moment because I want to hear from you. If any of these first 3 truths hit home, type the number 1, 2, or 3 in the comments right now. Not for me, for you. Naming the truth out loud is the first step to changing it. And I promise, seeing other men type the same number you did is more healing than you expect it to be. The fourth thing no one tells you is about your gut. Yes, your gut. The trillions of bacteria living in your intestines produce roughly 90% of your body's serotonin. And serotonin is deeply tied to your mood, your desire, your motivation, and your capacity for connection. When your gut is inflamed from years of processed food, late-night eating, chronic stress, and too many rounds of antibiotics, your whole emotional system runs on a low battery, and you cannot figure out why. You feel flat, you feel disconnected from the things that used to move you. You wonder where your spark went, and you blame your age, when really you should be blaming your plate. Think of your gut like the soil in a garden. If the soil is poisoned, no flower will grow no matter how much sunlight you pour on it. The action here is straightforward. Add 1 real fermented food to your day. Plain yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, even a small glass of real buttermilk with your afternoon meal. Reduce sugar aggressively for 30 days, especially the hidden sugars in bread, sauces, and evening snacks you eat without thinking. Eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bed, so your gut has time to rest and repair itself overnight. Your mood will lift long before your body even changes shape, and the men in my practice tell me again and again that this single change was what brought their sense of humor back after years of feeling flat. The fifth thing is strength, and I do not mean gym strength or youthful strength or anything you have to impress anyone with. I mean the quiet, steady muscular tone that keeps your posture upright, your circulation lively, your bones dense, and your hormones balanced. After the age of 50, men lose roughly 1% of muscle mass every single year unless they actively resist it, and that loss accelerates after 65. Muscle is not vanity. Muscle is the organ that keeps testosterone receptive, keeps blood sugar stable, keeps your metabolism humming, and keeps you feeling like a man in your own skin, rather than a visitor in someone else's body. Picture your muscles like a battery pack for your vitality. Let that battery drain year after year, and everything else dims with it. Your mood, your sleep, your desire, your confidence walking into a room. The action is not complicated and does not require a gym membership you will not use. 2 short resistance sessions a week, push-ups against a kitchen counter, sit to stand from a chair 20 times, a simple set of dumbbells kept in your living room where you cannot avoid them, carrying your own groceries in 1 trip instead of 2. You do not need an hour. You need 20 honest minutes and real consistency. I have watched men in their late 70s rebuild enough strength in 6 months to play with grandchildren they had not been able to pick up in years, and the pride in their eyes when they told me about it was something no prescription pad could ever produce. Strength at your age is not about looking a certain way. It is about being able to say yes to your own life when it calls. The sixth thing, and this one the older women whisper to each other most often over coffee, is emotional honesty. A man who cannot say what he feels becomes a man whose body eventually says it for him. Through high blood pressure, through chest tightness, through restless sleep, through lost desire, through a quiet depression that looks like fatigue. For decades, you were taught to swallow it, to be the rock, to carry the weight and never complain and never show softness because softness was weakness. But your nervous system kept the receipts for every suppression. Every unspoken grief, every unresolved fear, every tenderness you were told to hide. It all lives somewhere in the tissue of your body. Women in long marriages see this with heartbreaking clarity. They watch their husbands slowly harden over the years, not out of anger, but out of pure exhaustion from carrying so much silence alone. The action here is to find one person, a wife, a brother, a close friend, a therapist, even a voice memo recorded on your phone to no one, and tell the truth about how you actually feel once a week. Just once. Watch your blood pressure quietly drop over the next month. I have seen it happen in my patients more times than I can count. Let me tell you about a man who lived all six of these truths. His name was Ernesto, and he came to me at 67 years old, slumped in the chair across from me, completely convinced that his best years were decades behind him. He told me, with that particular sadness men carry when they think no one is watching, that his wife had stopped looking at him the way she used to, that he avoided mirrors in the morning, that waking up had started to feel like attending a funeral for the man he used to be. We did not start with pills. We did not start with testosterone panels or supplements. We started with sleep, then walking every morning after breakfast, then one honest 10-minute conversation a week with his wife. No phones, no television, just two people remembering each other. 4 months later, he walked back into my office, and I genuinely did not recognize him at first. Not because he looked younger, but because he looked inhabited. He looked like someone was home behind his eyes again. He said to me, and I will never forget this as long as I practice medicine, "Doctor, I didn't need to become a new man. I needed to come home to the one I already was." That sentence is what this work is really about. And Ernesto, if you are watching tonight, and I know some of you right now feel exactly like he did when he first walked in, I need you to hear me clearly, and I need you to hear me with both ears and the whole of your heart. It is not too late for you. It is not too late if you are 58. It is not too late if you are 72. It is not too late even if you have spent the last 10 years absolutely convinced that your body betrayed you somewhere along the way. Your body did not betray you. Your body was simply waiting, patiently, for you to finally stop and listen to what it has been trying to tell you for years. The shame you carry about your performance, about your desire, about your softness, about your confidence, that shame does not belong to you. It was handed to you by a culture that profits from your silence and your embarrassment. Put it down tonight. You are allowed to age with dignity. You are allowed to want closeness, to want touch, to want to be seen by the person sleeping next to you. You are allowed to learn at 70 years old what no one ever bothered to teach you at 20. There is absolutely nothing undignified about beginning today. The only thing undignified is being told a lie about your own body for the rest of your life and believing it without ever questioning who told it to you and what they had to gain from you believing it. So let me give you the whole thing in one clean breath, the way I would tell my own father if he were sitting across from me tonight at my kitchen table. Walk 30 minutes a day to keep your plumbing young and your blood moving. Sleep by 10:30 to keep your hormones alive and your mornings bright. Practice presence over performance and let 3 slow breaths replace all the pressure you have been carrying into the bedroom. Feed your gut real fermented food and cut the sugar that has been quietly stealing your spark for years. Build quiet strength twice a week so your battery holds its charge deep into your 70s and 80s. And tell the truth about how you feel, out loud, to one person you trust. Because silence is the slowest poison any man can drink. That is it. That is the entire prescription, and it does not cost a single dollar. Now I am going to ask you to commit to just one thing. Give me 30 days. Just 30. Pick 3 of these 6 and practice them every single day without negotiation. At the end of that month, I promise you, on my years of practice, you will not recognize the man who started. If this conversation touched something really new tonight, please tap that like button one more time. It truly helps this message reach the men who are sitting alone right now wondering if anyone still sees them. Subscribe so you never miss the next one, because I am just getting started with what I want to share with this community. And in the comments below, I want you to write one single sentence, just one, telling me which of the 6 truths you are committing to first. Not all 6, just one, because one honest step is worth more than 100 perfect intentions that never leave the page. I read every single comment, and I will be quietly cheering for you from here every day of that 30-day challenge. Thank you for trusting me with your time tonight, and thank you for being the kind of man brave enough to keep learning in a world that told you you already knew everything worth knowing. I am honored to be part of your evening, and I do not take that lightly. Remember always, and carry this with you when you close your eyes tonight, aging is not the end of vitality. It is an invitation to live smarter.